following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Willie? What happened?
You just shot a lieutenant. That's all.
The world is a carousel of color. Wonderful, wonderful color.
Walt Disney presents
The wonderful world of color.
This week, from Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color, we bring you Willie and the Yank. And now your host, Walt Disney.
You know, I've sometimes wondered, what does it take to make an ordinary man into a soldier? Just dress him up in a uniform and hand him a gun, administer an oath, give him a few weeks of military training? Or, as in our story, suppose you start out with a 15-year-old. Will these things make him into a man and a first-class soldier? Or, in spite of anything, is he still pretty much of a boy? That's one of the many questions that had to be faced a little over 100 years ago when the United States was ripped by the war between the states. Families were torn apart. Boys were expected to become men without taking time to grow up. Loyalties were supposed to be decided according to a line on the map. Now, from these and other related problems comes our story of Willie and the Yank. We bring you now the first of 3 parts. This episode, The Deserter.
Hey, Henry! You missed the whole darn tree!
Henry, you can't get nothing. You quit it, darky. You can't even see that far. Now get that target up there.
A weasel never have to worry robbing your hen house. Hey, Henry, the thing is, you gotta sort of take aim before you pull the trigger.
You do this all the time.
Can't think of nothing better. Got to fire 5 rounds a day or they think we ain't a soldiering.
Huh. My old sergeant would chew me out good if he thought...
Only your first day, Lomax. Things is different here.
Well, I know, but...
What a man wants to do is make the war as comfortable as possible.
What are you waiting for, Willie?
You keep your shirt on, Henry!
What was that? Picket post. Hey! That ain't bad for a ram!
There. You see? Them fellas ain't as bad as they make out. No matter what old Maddox says. You know, if it wasn't for...
You miserable, scrawny, cotton picking, little no-account varmint. How many times have I told you not to have no truck with them Yankees across that river?
Well, they yelled first and all I did was answer.
It ain't your business to answer them. It's your business to kill them.
Well, there weren't no battle going on.
Oh, battle my foot. There's been a battle going on with them Yankees ever since Fort Sumter. And don't you 2 yahoos forget it either. Now, you listen here to me, Private Willie Prentice. You so much as squeak one word to them Yankees across that river, I'll have you up in front of a summary court-martial so fast your empty little head's gonna spin like a mill wheel. You got that?
Yes, sir.
Don't sir me, I'm a sergeant.
No, sir. No, Sergeant.
Just keep in mind now, this ain't no Sunday sociable at Frying Pan Church.
Where did you say?
Frying Pan Church, sir. Where he come from?
Loudoun County?
Yeah.
Yeah, what? This is an officer. Yeah, what?
Yeah, sir.
How long have you lived in Frying Pan Church, Willie?
All my life, sir.
You know the country?
Yes, sir. I trapped it all. Clean from the Blue Ridge to the Potomac. That's my business, trapping. Sir?
Well, it sure ain't us soldiering. That best be going, Lieutenant. We're mighty late.
I may see you later, Willie.
Yes, sir.
Billy! Billy! Willie! Willie! You hear me, Willie? We got new rations! Coffee! Coffee coming out our ears! How about swapping again? What's he talking about?
Hey, got coffee and no tobacco. He got tobacco and no coffee. Hey, Lomax, you a coffee drinker?
Wait now. You heard what old Maddox said?
Oh, man, I cleaned down to headquarters by now. How much tobacco you got? All right, Henry! Bring your coffee over! Lomax, you get one whiff of that coffee. You'll be ready to swap. Come on. Give me your hand, Lomax.
If we get caught, this is none of my doing.
Just hush up and do like I tell you. Hey, Lomax!
Somebody's coming.
Lomax!
It's old Maddox.
Good Christopher. Henry! Henry's back! Lomax!
Thirty! 30, pull back!
Ask him to come on over.
He's a Yankee.
Give me that gun, Lomax.
He's a Yankee. He's my enemy.
Give me that gun, Lomax.
What am I doing, Willie Prentice?
Lieutenant? Lieutenant, sir.
I was doing my duty.
Lieutenant.
I never had my hand on the gun, even. You did it, Willie. You grabbed it out of my hand, and then...
Shut up, Lomax.
They asked me. I'll testify.
I said shut up. He's alive.
Well, that don't make no difference. You shoot officer, you get hung. Old Maddox did say his piece of the trial.
Lieutenant.
And
Please, Lieutenant. Wake up, will you? I didn't mean it, sir. Honest.
I'm going, Willie. I'm going light out. We don't stand a chance, neither of us.
Go on. Get! Lieutenant?
Willie? What happened?
Please, Lieutenant. Don't die on me. Don't make it worse than it is.
Willie? What's going on over there? Anybody over there? What happened to Willie Prentice?
You just shot a lieutenant. That's all.
Hey, Willie! What's going on over there?
Henry! Henry, put me across!
Here. Come on, Willie.
Oh, thank you.
Likely found him by now.
Dead, maybe.
Well, it seems like they'd expect a few things like that, taking in boys your age.
Had nothing to do with it how old I am.
Got to make soldiers out of them before they're dry behind the ears.
Now, I don't remember you out shooting me any time.
Boy's right, Henry. I don't recall you getting yourself a Reb, Lieutenant.
Still, it don't seem quite right. Bringing them in when they're too little to fight against and too big to spank. Where do you think you're going, Jimmy?
Back to my own side. I'd rather get hung than talk to death.
Now, just hold on a minute.
You're gonna hang me sooner or later anyhow. Shooting lieutenant and deserting my post. I got no chance in the world.
How are they going to know it wasn't a Yankee raid, huh? We could have captured you, shot the lieutenant. How are they going to know we didn't? Come here, sit down. Sit. Sit down. Now, suppose we help you get started. Head south. You find yourself a brand new Reb army to join up with. As far away from here as you can get.
Well, I don't see how...
Tell him you got captured. Managed to escape. And you couldn't find your old outfit.
We're all gonna end up in a guardhouse, all three of us, just side by side.
Well, here. You want to shoot him then?
Now, wait a minute. There's no reason getting you two in trouble.
Willie, this ain't your war. You got lots more growing up to do. There's lots better places to do it.
I joined up. Didn't nobody make me do it?
You find yourself a tater-peeling job in a nice, peaceful army. So far south, you won't even hear... Shh.
It's our relief.
Get down there. Keep out of sight.
Bring tidings, gentlemen. I bring news straight from the fount of wisdom.
Huh?
Company's transferred to the Middle Military Division. Fairfax Courthouse, General Stoughton. Move out next Monday.
Oh?
Hey, what you got? Tobacco? Real tobacco. Jumping houses, we're outflanked.
Easy, Webb. Easy, boy. Now, you gonna keep quiet. You hear me? He's a tame one.
Well, who tamed him?
We did. Willie Prentice, 1st Virginia.
You know, you was talking about Fairfax Courthouse. That's right near where I come from. House where I was born ain't more than 7 miles away.
Thing we got to do now is get him through to Bedford Forest so he can start making his way south.
Well, how are you gonna do that?
I got a plan. It ain't easy. We gotta get him out of here tonight.
I could have sworn I saw something fall out of that wagon. I know I saw something. You look over there.
Come on out of there. You hear me? You haven't got a chance.
What you doing in a yank? Ma! Ma! Uncle Fern!
What's up?
Willie!
In a Yankee uniform.
Go fetch Ma, he's hurt.
There. Stanley! Willie's hurt!
Willie? Find something, fetch the doctor.
Now, what do you reckon?
I reckon Willie's hurt. Now, will you fetch Doc Burnett?
Thing I can't figure out.
Never mind now. Go fetch Mr. Chapman. We'll get him up to bed.
Mr. Chapman!
Sorry. Sure, honey.
Mr. Chapman, come quick!
Sam Chapman's been staying with us a few days, Willie. It's all right, son. It's all right.
Ma. Ma.
It's going to be all right, Willie. Uncle Ferd will have the doctor here before you know it.
Ma, I gotta tell you.
How long you been like this, Willie?
Yesterday, maybe. Day before, I kind of lost track. Yankee cavalryman.
Just never mind, son. Never mind. This is our Willie, Mr. Chapman. Let's get him into the house.
Yes, ma'am. Easy.
Mind his leg.
They catch him in that Yankee uniform, they'll string him up right
Hush
smart.
up.
It's true. That fella rode with Mosby in a Yankee uniform over to Middleburg. They hung him for a spy. Ma, you reckon
Not
Willie...
another word out of your mouth. Not another word, Homer Prentice. Now, I want you to listen to me. I want you to get his horse out of sight in the cowshed. Then I want you to hide the tack under the hay in the barn. Do you understand? Now, do as I say.
Jehoshaphat!
Don't try to talk now, son.
I gotta tell
Now, you get him up to bed, and I'll freeze the hot water. But the first thing we got to do is get him out of that miserable uniform.
Yes, ma'am.
The graves. Deep, but a graves. Them Yankees can't shoot for a shilling. Good thing, too.
You just lay there, son, and don't worry about a thing, because you're going to be all right.
Yeah, things are just great. Ma, can I come in? Just for a minute, please?
All right, Homer. All right.
They wanted to come see Willie. Hello, Willie.
Homer Prentice, What have you done? Go spouting around the whole countryside about Willie being home?
I only told Cletus and his two cousins.
Oh.
You really give him thunder, didn't you, Willie? Secret mission, Homer said. In a Yankee uniform. Yankee uniform. For General Stewart?
No, it wasn't for General Stewart. Now, all of you, go on. Go on. Willie's got to get his rest. Now, run along, son. Go on.
Can I take him out to the barn and show him where Uncle Ferd had the Yankee uniform?
Now, Homer Prentice, you listen to me. Every single one of you listen to me. Don't you ever mention that uniform again. Do you understand? Do you understand? All right. Now, I want you to forget you ever heard anything about it. Here? Now, run along. Run along. Shh. Go.
Must have been headed for Fairfax, huh? Before he got shot?
You think they'd trust him in the first place if he was the kind that talks? I'd figure anything he told me bound to be something he just made up.
Thank you, Uncle Ferd.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Chapman.
Morning, say it. Morning.
Dear Heavenly Father, bless this food to our use and our hearts to thy service. Look down on our boy Willie when he returns to the peril of battle and takes up the sword from his gallant father. Preserve and protect him. Help him to acquit himself with honor. And grant our soldiers the right of the mighty. Amen.
Amen.
When are you going back?
Homer, eat your breakfast.
Well, it's been more than a week, and I only
said eat your
wondered.
breakfast.
I wouldn't rush back, I'll tell you. I was fell at home in 14, and it took a block and tackle to get me back.
Eat hearty, Willie. You're going to cuss yourself out when you get back to that hardtack and sow belly. You know, I believe if the Dark Angel himself offered me a pound of real coffee for my eternal soul, I'd swap.
The Dark Angel got none. The Yankees got it all. Every last bean.
You can swap. Lots of people have been doing it. Well, Harley Dunlap's got a whole sack he got from a Yankee picket.
Well, Harley Dunlap can swap if he wants to. But I'd just as soon make mine out of burnt sweet potatoes. Well, speaking of getting back, Willie, I expect you'd like to get word to General Stewart about what happened, wouldn't you?
I'll think on it.
Doc Burnett says you'll be fit to soldier in no time at all. Then you're going on with your secret mission?
Homer.
Well, he isn't going to stay home all summer, is he?
He'll go back when he's ready.
Well, it would seem sensible to send a message on to the Rappahannock. Of course, I ain't a military man, but...
For a practicing Quaker, I'd say you're mighty military. With all the advice you're handing out.
Willie.
You said it yourself. I'll go back when I'm ready and healed up, and I'll be the one to decide when. And I'll take my own messages to Culpeper, and that's all there is about it.
Willie Prentice. Now, I don't care whether you're 15 or 50, young man, but I will not have that kind of rudeness at this table. You can apologize to Mr. Chapman, or you can climb right back up those stairs. Do you hear? I'll be grateful if you'll forgive me.
terrible fix. I can't talk about it now. I'm sorry. Nothing more I can say.
Willie.
Willie, what is it, son?
Don't ask me no more.
Is there anything we can do, Willie?
Quick, Yankee's coming. You gotta hide Willie.
What?
Lee, how'd you know I was here? Well, I heard it about a week. Oh, just hide him or something.
All right, let's get him upstairs.
Yes.
Now listen, he's been here since Antietam on parole. You got that?
Yes.
Homer.
Hey, Antietam.
That's right. Colonel Galladay, 33rd Virginia.
Got no papers?
Never mind, we'll take care of that one. Homer, I want you to get that Yankee horse out of the barn and get it into the woods. You understand me? Okay, step right. Hurry up.
Is he coming?
Not yet. All right, climb out of those clothes. Hurry along now. Working Quaker has to be prepared for almost anything these days, Willie. Let's see, William Prentice. Right. 33rd Virginia, Sharpsburg. You best move along, Willie. Colonel E. C. Galladay. 18 September 1862. I kept these handy, too. Now listen to me, Willie. You're only bound to tell your unit. 33rd Virginia, Colonel Galladay. You understand me? Now, those papers will get you by 4 out of 5 times. It's that 5th time you're going to have to watch 'em. Play it fast and sassy with him, you hear me? So long, boy.
Ride a horse that hard, you must have been in a big hurry to get here.
A young lady doesn't dawdle when she rides alone. Not since you Yankees moved in.
You came from where?
Fairfax.
Why'd you come?
I came to see my Aunt Sarah, my cousin Willie, my cousin Homer, and my Uncle Ferg. Is there a rule against that, Sergeant?
$5 for breakfast, Mrs. Prentice?
Homer's out feeding the chickens, and my oldest boy, Willie, is upstairs in bed. He can't get up for too long at a time. He was wounded at the Battle of Antietam.
Oh. Those 2 and you 2, that makes 4. And don't try to tell me you've been here long enough to set a plate.
Well, of course, there's Sam Chapman now. He's off making calls. He's the Quaker minister.
Chapman. I'll talk to Willie.
I'll show you up.
These men, I'd rather do it alone. Antietam was a lot of war for a boy your size. What outfit you say you were with?
33rd Virginia.
You have it hot and heavy?
Yes, sir.
Uncle Sir and a sergeant. Yankee besides. They do that in your army?
Bad habit of mine.
Sergeant can't stay mean if he gets served all the time. Fruits of Solitude, William Penn. Say, you don't suppose Mr. Chapman really is a Quaker now, do you, Johnny? Good Quaker books. You know, they tell me there ain't a bookstore in Richmond got any Quaker books since Mosby started riding. 2 big shortages. Quaker books and horse pistols. You hold real still. You really are hurt, aren't you? You know, over to Middleburg, there's a hospital full of the sorriest invalids you ever saw. Who can fork a horse and ride like thunder come nightfall. Getting so a man can't trust anybody. Can I see your parole papers, Johnny? Thanks, Johnny, and you get well real soon. When you get exchanged back, you pick yourself a boy-sized fight instead of an Antietam. Hope you'll excuse us, ma'am. We ain't trying to upset people. Wait off! You know what happened to the last Mosby man we found wearing a federal uniform?
I already told you, I'm not a Mosby man, never have been.
If you have any respect for the truth, you can't say you found him wearing it.
That's right.
Thing is, after I was took prisoner, my old uniform was so wore out and full of holes, it wasn't fit to be seen in, so they give me this one to wear.
Johnny.
And I tried to escape and I got shot.
No, it don't matter. It don't matter what he was. Now, the fact is that boy's in no shape to ride out of here and open up that wound again.
Now, he should have thought about that before he got shot. What were you doing anyhow, huh? Out raiding some poor federal picket post, sneaking up point blank in one of their uniforms?
No, I told you, all I was trying to do is just get away.
All right, let me tell you something, all of you. The longer you try and help Mosby and his men, it's going to get worse for you. You're just making it harder on yourselves and everybody else.
Including the Yankees, mostly?
Well, don't you worry about us, miss.
I really didn't intend to.
All right, Willie, let's move.
Willie?
Robin, stay with the prisoner. Oh,
my man can't go down the road with his wagon without them crazy Reds coming. Go get him, boys! Go get him! You're on the side of right! I tell you, boy, did you ever see a war like this in your life? Captain, if you'd have come 1 minute later, 1 minute, they'd have dragged my wagon off and got everything I had in here.
What you know?
I know one thing. They's after my liquor.
Liquor?
Yeah.
You wouldn't josh me now, would you? I thought you fellas quit carrying this stuff.
Well, Captain, fella's got to make a living.
Now take your guns and horses. Own your boots. And naturally the prisoner.
Wish you'd tell me where we're going.
Well, you'll find out soon enough. Who? Matter of fact, right now. You two know each other?
I get my way, we're gonna grind you up for cat meat. Move! Willie Prentice! Yes, sir! You don't sir, Sergeant!
We're gonna go see.
John Singleton Mosby. Lieutenant Mosby, sir? Well, Willie Prentice. You disarm him, Sergeant?
I'd like to dishead him, sir.
By the time I get through with him, he might just welcome that.
About what happened, sir. I'm sorry.
You know what I ought to do with you, boy? I ought to send you back to your unit. Let them hang you as a deserter.
Yes, sir.
You realize that's what you deserve, don't you?
Yes, sir. Only it wasn't as bad as it looks.
That's not for you to decide.
No, sir.
Can you think of anyone in the world that's got more problems than you do right now, Prentice?
No, sir.
Well, there is. For instance, my job. My job is to make it so hot for the Yankees that they'll put more men to watching me than General Lee has south of the river here. To do that right, I need a guide. A man who knows the country.
Sir, could I say something?
Most everyone old enough to ride is already off to war. Or too old to do me any good.
Sir!
And the only young man I can find in a hurry who really knows this country isn't a man at all. He's a deserter. Who makes friends with the enemy and did his level best to kill me the first day we ever met.
You mean me, sir?
Unfortunately, yes.
Boy, we need someone who knows this back country, not just the roads and byways.
Where do you think I did my trapping?
We know where you did your trapping. That's why you're here.
Well, Prentice, what's it going to be? You want to be hanged now and get it over with? Or have you got the guts to stick it out and fight with me?
If you want me to, sir, I mean,
I'm going to tell you something, boy. The first time you let me down, you'll wish you'd have been hanged.
Yeah.
Sir!
Sir!
You better take a message south, son. To General Fitzlee. Tell him I found a man to serve as my guide. And we'll start recruiting Yankee horses immediately.
Yes.
Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color has been brought to you by
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Henry Jenkins, his name is. 12th Pennsylvania. Looks harmless. Main thing is to keep an eye on him till sunup. Then you can turn him loose.
All right.
I found it.
Thank you.
Careful, Mom, it's loaded.
Oh. If I can set this thing off. Where's the thingamajig?
Oh, you just point it at his head and pull this.
The world is a carousel of color. Wonderful, wonderful color.
Walt Disney presents
The wonderful world of color.
brought to you by Eastman Kodak Company. Kodak, whose dependable Kodak film and exciting Instamatic cameras bring you pictures you'll treasure today and for years to come. This week, from Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color, we bring you Willie and the Yank. And now your host, Walt Disney.
On the night of March 8th, 1863, there occurred one of the most daring and preposterous military feats of the war between the states, or any other war for that matter. It took place here at a place called Fairfax Courthouse in Virginia. A small group of rebel raiders under Lieutenant John Mosby picked their way through 10,000 federal troops. They moved undetected to the very heart of the Yankee stronghold and back out again. That event plays an important part in the second chapter of our story of Willie and the Yank. Now, our first chapter started, you may recall, down on the Rappahannock.
Give me that gun, Morgan! Give me that gun, Morgan!
You did it, Willie. You grabbed it out of my hand. They asked me. I'll testify.
Lieutenant, I didn't mean it, sir. Honest. You're gonna hang me sooner or later anyhow. Shooting lieutenant and deserting my post. I got no chance in the world.
How are they gonna know it wasn't a Yankee raid, huh? We could have captured you, shot the lieutenant. How are they gonna know we didn't? Come here, sit down. Sit. Now, suppose we help you get started. Head south. You find yourself a brand new Reb army to join up with.
Well, I don't see how...
Tell them you got captured. Managed to escape, and you couldn't find your old outfit.
Eventually, Willie arrived home, behind the federal lines in Virginia, disguised as a Yank.
Ma!
Willie? I'm something fetch the doctor.
Now, what do you reckon?
I reckon Willie's hurt. Now, will you fetch Dr. Annette?
But there was still a lot of war to be fought. and Willie wound up at the secret headquarters of the rebel raider, Lieutenant John Singleton Mosby.
You disarm him, Sergeant?
I'd like to dishead him, sir.
The first time you let me down, you'll wish you'd have been hanged. You better take a message south, Sergeant. To General Fitzlee. Tell him I found a man to serve as my guide. And we'll start recruiting Yankee horses immediately.
Matter of emphasis, gentlemen. We don't want to sensationalize, now do we? We don't want to misinform the people about Mosby, throw them into a panic over nothing. Altogether, he took, how many horses, Sergeant?
16, sir.
You're treating this like the Battle of Antietam.
It's happening pretty regular, General.
Only because I choose to ignore him, sir. Concentrate on more important matters. If I decide to move against him, I will flatten him just like that. Good day, gentlemen.
General Stoughton, sir, we didn't come all the way to Fairfax Courthouse merely...
The interview is at an end, sir. Good day.
General.
Read this a dozen times a day, Sergeant. Object lesson on what a half-dozen incompetent nincompoops on picket duty can do to the reputation of the Middle Military Division.
We were surprised.
I know you were surprised, Sergeant. I've just been reading 1,000 eloquent words describing the affair. What would you suggest as a countermeasure, Sergeant?
I don't know, sir.
You'll find out tomorrow. Dismissed. Every report we've got says that Mosby's base is Middleburg.
I hardly think they have a base, sir. They put up with farmers all over the valley.
But he's been seen around Middleburg more often than anywhere else, is that right?
I suppose so, sir.
Right. Middleburg is where we hit him then, bright and early.
Willie, wake up! Yankees on the pike. Get moving.
The information on hand, Mr. Mayor? I suggest you dig it up in a hurry. I want the name, address, and occupation of every able-bodied male citizen of Middleburg. Not tomorrow, not next week, now. Start at both ends of the street and work toward the middle. I want to look at everyone you turn up. Captain, deploy your men.
Sergeant, deploy your men. All right, Johnny. What's your name?
Charlie Davis.
Where you going?
Home. I work here nights.
Yeah, I figured you work nights, all right. But here?
Well, we get late business sometimes. From the hotel across the street and such.
Oh, why ain't you in the rebel army?
I was sick when I was a baby. My heart ain't what it ought to be.
Yeah? Where was you last night?
Here.
Haskell, you go on down the line. I'll take over.
Works nights, he says.
Get. Give me your promise you'd head down south. Go as far as you could get.
Never promised you nothing. Besides that, things got kind of out of hand. Didn't work like we figured.
I should have hit you on the head with a rock and thrown you into the Rappahannock.
Looky here.
I told you to find a quiet job in a peaceful army way off down south somewhere.
Who says who I picked?
Well, you picked wrong, I'll tell you that much. When old Stoughton finds out who you are, he's gonna string you up.
How's he gonna find out? You gonna tell him?
I got to tell him what I know. You left me no choice.
Ooh, if you forget any parts, I'll remind you. Like how you pulled me across the river and hid me at your picket post and stole that Yankee uniform and give false papers to the driver so that you could get me on that ambulance train.
All I was trying to do was save your neck and...
Jenkins! Jenkins!
You keep on trying, Henry. Unless you want to take part in a double hanging.
Nothing in there.
Haskell said something about a stable boy.
Harmless.
Figured you wouldn't be looking for quicksand. Oh, you won't make it that way. Not unless I help you. But I'm not supposed to help you. I'm your enemy. I'm supposed to kill you. What do you reckon to do if I haul you out? Want me to back? I thought you could keep it under your hat. So you could go back? You're a horse thieving? You reckon you got a tattle on me to old Stoughton?
You know what I reckon, you thieving little scamp? I reckon I should have hung you from the ridge pole of your own barn. That's what I reckon. Now you go on with your business. Let me die in peace.
All right, Sergeant. Wrap it around your hand. Have to let you walk home.
General's waiting.
All right, let's go.
Come here with that lamp.
One of Mosby's men. You said he seemed harmless. You're gonna help me, Corporal. Somehow we're gonna bring Willie Prentice in.
Discuss! I am not discussing terms, Mr. Mayor. I am telling you what they are. You and your fellow townsmen have been giving aid and comfort to a brigand who is acting outside the established customs and usages of warfare. If Mosby creates one more outrage,
If Mosby commits one more outrage, I shall be compelled to retaliate against the people who have been sheltering him. Man's really mad. Says he's going to burn the town.
Bluster.
How do you know it's bluster?
Because he's a windbag, General. He has no intention.
Just a minute, Lieutenant. I know Ed Stoughton. I went through the academy with him.
Well, that don't necessarily make him a windbag, Fitz. Helps, though.
General Stewart, sir. May I suggest that what Stoughton says is true? This is brigandage.
General, sir.
Lieutenant, you have placed me in a position of endorsing the operation of a band of buccaneers. Your command, sir, bids fair to become a haven for every deserter, plunderer, and skulker in the Army of Northern Virginia.
The point isn't Middleburg or you or me or Fitz here. But you have 15 of our best cavalrymen, and we're hurting for them something fierce.
General Stewart, those 15 men are tying down 20 times their numbers in Yankees. Yankees that you'd have to fight on the Rappahannock.
Permit me to question that, Lieutenant. I want those men back with me, General.
I can't operate without them.
I know there are two sides to this, Lieutenant Mosby. However, I'm afraid I'm going to have to go along with Fitz here.
But General Stewart, don't
You'll
you
have
think...
those men here by the 10th. And you'll personally report to me for reassignment. That's all, Lieutenant.
Yes, sir. I tried my best. I used every argument I could think of, but those are the orders.
Look at all the horses we got for Lee's brigade. What kind of thing?
74 in the last 3 weeks.
You don't get medals for stealing horses in this country, no matter whose horses they are. Now, for us to stay alive, we've got to pull something that'll stand them on their heads from Washington to Richmond and all the points in between. Stoughton, they set such a great store with him around here. So eternally terrified of him? He's got his picket posts so close together they could join hands clear around Fairfax.
Except for Possum Creek.
But if we could just get through. What did you say, Willie?
There's a half-mile gap in the picket lines at Possum Creek.
Where?
Right here. New York 5th on both sides. There's a gully here so full of wild blackberries, I figure no one tried to go through.
You think we could get through?
Yes, sir.
You know, Willie, if you're wrong about this, it won't just be a Yankee sergeant this time. It would be our whole command.
Sir, are we going to take on 10,000 federal troops?
How's that aching your bad knee, Sam?
What do you mean, sir?
Rain. We've got just one chance, but we'd have to have some rain. 2 or 3 hours of rain just before midnight. Sam, get word to the men. We'll meet tonight at 9 o'clock at Rector's Crossroads. If it's clear, we'll start south to Culpeper. But maybe, if it rains, maybe something else.
Yes, sir. You know, Willie, I used to know me an Indian could dance up some rain. Yeah. I don't suppose there's any way in the world to get a hold of him tonight.
Here comes Mosby.
All right, men. You all know where we stand. Our orders are to report to Culpeper for reassignment. We're soldiers, all of us, in or out of the Army, and as soldiers, we'll obey those orders. I had hoped that we might be given more time to prove ourselves. But I don't think we're going to get that time. You regular men, report to Brigadier General. Gentlemen, we're going to Culpeper, but we're going to be going the long way around.
All right, then, let's ride.
Come on, Willie.
Where we going? We're going to Fairfax. Fairfax? You mean Yankee headquarters? That's right. Well, they got 10,000 men around that town. What are we going to do in Fairfax?
Boys, even if I told you, you wouldn't believe me.
Hey, boys, we're going to Fairfax.
Trouble with a night like this, man can't tell a rib from the Yankees. Exactly. Willie! Oh, wait!
I don't think we're going to see any sign of Willie tonight, Sergeant.
Just a kid. He ain't been out of the nest for long. He'll be coming home one of these nights. Kid's made a fool out of me twice. Once down there and once in that bog on Goose Creek.
Surprised you ain't grateful.
He wants to haul me out of a bog. He can take his chances. I'm fighting a war.
We sit here long enough, we're going to find ourselves in another bog.
Yeah, let's roll. But he'll show up one of these nights. You wait and see. You see what I see? It's the kid. That's gotta be Mosby himself. The whole shooting match.
What do you reckon we ought to do?
Follow him. Hold still. We'll back off until they start.
Darn near lost you. Had a little cinch trouble. Where's that kid taking us?
No idea.
Me neither. I'd just soon jump off a cliff is what we're doing. Be quicker.
The New York 5th. Better go through afoot.
All right, dismount. Pass the word back. No talking from you.
Dismount. Pass it back.
Dismount. Pass it back.
We must be in Possum Creek. That's the New York 5th.
All here?
Yes, sir. And then some. We got 2 more than when we started.
You sure?
31 altogether.
All right, mount.
Who goes there?
New York 5th, Cavalry Patrol.
That's to be recognized.
It's Mosby, they're Rebs! Mosby, they're Rebs!
Come on out. We know you're in there, Yankee.
All right, mount up. We gotta get fast and get out of here. We just going off and leave him? We can't spend all night looking for him.
Hold it right there, Henry.
One big mistake in my life was pulling you across that river.
Oh, I don't know.
I should have. Left you there to get hung. If I ever lift another finger to help
I
a
wouldn't
Reb,
worry about it. You may not live that long.
what are you going to do with me?
Only one thing I can do. Take you as a prisoner of war.
Oh, Willie.
Henry Jenkins, his name is. 12th Pennsylvania. Looks harmless. Main thing is to keep an eye on him till sunup. Then you can turn him loose.
All right.
I found it.
Thank you. Careful, Mom. It's loaded.
Oh.
If I can set this thing off. Where's the thingamajig?
Oh, you just point it at his head and pull this.
Thanks.
Maybe you won't even have to shoot him. It's not a bad sort for a Yankee.
Willie Prentice, when I get out of this, so help me.
Makes a lot of noise, but it don't add up to much. Oh, this here is Cousin Orly, Henry. You'd be real nice to her, you hear? When you get back to headquarters, you can tell him I left it tied up in the bushes. Took you all night to wiggle free.
I'd rather get shot than have General Stoughton hear how you captured me.
Maybe you won't have to. You take good care of me, Isabella. I gotta fix it so old Stoughton won't pick on him in the morning.
I wish you luck, Willie. And you take care of yourself, hear me?
Good night, Henry. Orly.
Good night.
No, Willie told me about the Yankee soldier that saved his life. I never expected I'd ever meet him.
Yeah, lots of things seem to work out the way we didn't expect them to.
Sorry.
It's my fault. I'm not very good at this.
You know, even in uniform, you don't seem much like a Yankee.
Well, I guess it just happens. Whether you're a Yankee or a Reb, can't none of us help where we're born.
But we can't help marching in and burning people's homes. Let's not get into that, shall we? How would you like me to read to you?
Sure. If you want to.
Do you like poetry?
Sure. I like it fine.
Andy? Andy? Anything wrong?
Who goes there? First Virginia? I said, who goes there? Well, I told you, First Virginia.
Now, you be a good Yankee. Help us run off those horses.
Out of the earth no true contentment springs, but all things here are vexing vanity. For what is beauty but a fading flower? Or what is pleasure but the devil's bait, whereby he catcheth whom he would devour, and multitudes of souls doth ruinate? And what are friends but mortal men as we, whom death must make quickly separate, or else their hearts may quite estranged be? and all their love be turned into hate.
What's wrong? Don't you like the poetry?
I'm just worried about Stoughton. What he'll say. A little hard to relax.
Well, I suppose it won't hurt to tell you what Willie and Mosby and the rest are up to. They're fixing to kidnap General Stoughton. And if they pull it off, then you won't have to face them.
Ah, now, let's see, where was I? And what are friends but mortal men as we, whom death from us may quickly separate, or else their hearts may quite estranged be, and all their love be turned into hate.
For General Stoughton.
He's asleep. Who are you?
Message from General Halleck.
Let me see your identification.
I don't have time for that. I almost killed that horse bringing this here, and I intend to deliver it. Now.
It better be urgent.
Come on, wake up in there.
Now, see here, soldier.
Message for the General.
I'll handle it.
It's personal.
I said I'll handle it.
All right, Captain. Now let's go see the General.
Lieutenant, there are limits to...
This is war, Captain.
Please. I'm sorry. Sorry, General. Very sorry.
I have a message for you, sir.
Message, indeed. What is the meaning of this, you, sir? What do you think? Message? What message?
Mosby, sir.
You mean you caught him?
Oh, no, sir. He caught you.
I don't understand it, sir. We seem to have been taken without a shot being fired.
That's preposterous.
Yes, sir. That's exactly what I said.
You're Mosby? Serving under General Fitzhugh Lee?
Yes, sir.
Fitz. He was a classmate of mine at the academy. I'd appreciate your taking me to General Fitzhugh Lee at once.
That's just what I was going to do, General.
I want you to know that just this one night, being with you and your mother, it's the nicest thing ever happened to me.
Well, for a Yankee, you're the nicest one I've ever held captive.
You think maybe tomorrow, when I get up... Oh, stop here! Sergeant Gregg. I figured they got him for sure. Now, don't let him scare you. Sergeant! I was afraid they'd done you in.
That'll be the day. What happened to you?
Me? Well, I tried to make a break for it. About 6 or 8 of them came after me. I fought them off as long as I could, but they finally got me gagged and blindfolded and tied, and took me all night to wiggle loose. Then when I started walking in, this young lady come along and give me a ride.
You're a cousin of Willie Prentice, aren't you?
Willie Prentice was one of them that jumped us. And then his cousin shows up driving you in. There's something funny going on around here.
Well, then you do the laughing, Yankee. Because I'm not amused.
Headquarters is gonna want to know anything you saw or heard.
Them, Rebs, do anything special after getting in here?
Oh, they just kidnapped General Stout. Made a clean getaway, that's all. Oh, what are you smiling at?
Me, Sergeant? Just happy. Happy to find you up and around.
One thing I'll say. As long as they're gonna make off with somebody.
He's had more than ample time to get here. He'll be here.
Of whom are you speaking?
Mosby.
The partisan?
Yes, sir. Saw a subject with your nephew here.
Fitzhugh, do you disapprove of Mosby?
I most certainly do, sir. I consider some of his activities hardly within the realm of proper military conduct. I didn't see you turn down any of the horses he's been sending this way.
Excuse me, sir. There's an officer outside to see General Fitzhugh Lee.
What officer?
General Stoughton, sir, from Fairfax Courthouse. That's what he insists, sir.
General who?
You gentlemen know each other?
My compliments, General Lee.
Lieutenant Mosby, maybe you ought to fill us in.
Yes, sir. We happened to be going through Fairfax, and we stopped to see the general here. He insisted on being taken to General Fitzhugh Lee.
You happen to be passing through Fairfax?
Yes, sir, on our way back to Culpeper for reassignment.
From my impression of you at the academy, I never would have believed you could indulge in such unmilitary shenanigans.
I'm sorry, General. I tried to tell him it wasn't your idea, but he wouldn't believe me.
Lieutenant, will you tell me, how did you get to Fairfax Courthouse in the first place? How did you get past the federal pickets?
Well, sir, that's a rather fascinating story, General Lee.
I'm surprised at you, Pitts.
Yeah, maybe they won't hang you after all.
Well, they don't always, do they?
Yeah, there's lots of other things they can do to a man besides hang you.
You're wanted inside, Willie.
Court-martial, sir?
There's a very famous gentleman who'd like to shake your hand.
Well, you have to admit, it's nicer to be shaken by the hand than to be hanged by the neck. And especially so if you have the final episode of your story still to be told. Now, we'll be back in a minute for a peek at our next program, the third and concluding episode of Willie and the Yank.
New orders come in. Here on any Mosby man we catch, we hang him on the spot.
In the next episode of Willie and the Yank, the conflict between the states touches the personal lives of those involved even more deeply than before.
Orly Prentice. You mean to tell me you went and fell in love with a Yankee?
You said he was your friend.
Well, I ain't in love with him.
And Henry Jenkins mixes war with love.
Big, fat old Yankee.
you can have the wedding at our place, and I'll be best man. You come down in your rented store clothes like you are now, nobody gotta know you're a Yankee.
From what Sergeant Gregg can find out, there's going to be a wedding there tomorrow afternoon. There's probably going to be every important rebel of Northern Virginia there. And they think that they can pull it off right underneath our noses. All right. We'll see who has the last laugh this time.
Willie and the Yank, two young men who must decide where friendship ends and duty begins. Our Civil War story next time is shot full of action, charged with drama.
You call me a traitor? You got a better name for it.
And crackling with suspense. Join Kurt Russell, Nick Adams, James MacArthur, and Jack Ging in the further adventures of Willie and the Yank on Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color has been brought to you by Eastman Kodak Company, for Kodak dealers everywhere who remind you that with new instant-loading Kodak Instamatic cameras, it's now easier than ever to save good times, indoors or out. At home or away, take pictures where the fun is.
The following program is brought to you in living color on NBC.
Rolly, you mean you and Henry? We didn't mean to. I care for him so that I'm sick inside.
Orly Prentice, you mean to tell me you went and fell in love with a Yankee?
You said he was your friend.
Well, I ain't in love with him.
The world is a carousel of color. Wonderful, wonderful color.
Walt Disney presents brought to you by RCA, world leader in color television, makers of stereo and tape recorders for the home, and computers for industry. RCA, eyes and ears for America's space program. Come into the space age with RCA, the most trusted name in electronics. This week, from Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color, we bring you another episode of Willie and the Yank. And now your host, Walt Disney.
I have two things here, each perhaps equally important to our story. The first, a military rifle, actually a symbol of war itself. And the other, a wedding ring, symbol of what? Love, marriage, family, the hope of survival for the whole human race. Sometimes we get peculiar ideas as to which is more important, the rifle or the ring, the war or the wedding. That's what our story is about. So after a quick reminder of what's gone before, we'll bring you part 3 of Willie and the Yank. This episode, The Matchmaker. Behind Yankee lines in Virginia, there operated a daring group of hit-and-run rebels led by John Singleton Mosby. Scout for the group, because he knew the country like the back of his hand, was 15-year-old Willie Prentice.
course, when they weren't raiding, the rebels had to disguise themselves as ordinary residents of the community.
Give me your promise you'd head down south. Go as far as you could get.
Never promised you nothing. Besides that, things got kind of out of hand. Didn't work like we figured.
I should have hit you on the head with a rock and thrown you into the Rappahannock.
Looky here.
I told you to find a quiet job in a peaceful army way off down south somewhere.
Who says who I picked?
Well, you picked wrong, I'll tell you that much. Old Stoughton finds out who you are, he's gonna string you up.
How's he gonna find out? You gonna tell him?
I got to tell him what I know. You left me no choice.
Ooh, if you forget any parts, I'll remind you. Like how you pulled me across the river and hid me at your picket post and stole that Yankee uniform and give false papers to the driver so that you could get me on that ambulance train.
All I was trying to do was save your neck.
Jenkins! Jenkins!
You keep on trying, Henry. Unless you want to take part in a double hanging.
Nothing in there.
Haskell said something about a stable boy.
Harmless.
But Willie's bluff and his luck could be stretched just so far. And finally, his past caught up with him.
Come here with that lamp.
One of Mosby's men. And you said he seemed harmless. You're gonna help me, Corporal. Somehow we're gonna bring Willie Prentice in.
But when it happened, it wasn't quite the way they'd planned it. Actually, it was Willie Prentice who captured Henry Jenkins. And then, because he didn't have the heart to shoot him, he delivered him bound and gagged to Aunt Isabella's house and introduced him to the rest of the family.
Thank you. Careful, Mom, it's loaded.
Oh. If I can set this thing off.
Where's the thingamajig?
Oh, you just point it at his head and pull this.
Thanks.
Maybe you won't even have to shoot him. It's not a bad sort for a Yankee.
Willie Prentice, when I get out of this, so help me.
Makes a lot of noise, but it don't add up to much. Oh, this here is Cousin Orly, Henry. You'd be real nice to her, you hear? When you get back to headquarters, you can tell him I left you tied up in the bushes. Took you all night to wiggle free.
I'd rather get shot than have General Stoughton hear how you captured me.
Maybe you won't have to. You take good care of me, Isabella. I gotta fix it so old Stoughton won't pick on him in the morning.
I wish you luck, Willie. And you take care of yourself, hear me?
Good night, Henry. Orly.
Good night. How far you reckon them ripples would go if there wasn't no bank to stop them?
I never thought of it.
Clean to China, most likely. Just get bigger and bigger until they took over the whole world. Preacher told me once that there's a special meaning to circles and rings. Did you ever hear that?
Hey, what's that? Well, come on, show me.
What's my mother's wedding ring?
Do you always carry it with you?
Someday I'm gonna meet the right girl, and I just want to be ready.
Henry, I expect you better climb on your horse and ride back to camp so I can wash my hair.
Orally.
You know what we talked about yesterday.
We picked the wrong time, is all.
It's a lot of other wrong things.
Well, not really, because we didn't pick. Nobody asked us where we want to be born, or did we want to be on different sides.
Please, Henry, I think you better go.
tomorrow.
No, not tomorrow, not ever again.
Aurelie.
I thought about it for a long time last night, and that's just how it's got to be.
You don't mean that.
Yes, I do. Fact is, I'm going away. I'm going to stay a spell with Aunt Sarah at Frying Pan Church. Just to make sure.
You think I couldn't ride that far?
Well, it's not a healthy place for a Yankee soldier all alone.
I've never been one to take a whole platoon along when I go calling. What about...
I swear you're getting big enough to ride with us.
It's sure some horse you got.
Why don't you get him out of sight?
Willie?
Mom!
Oh, Willie. Oh, it's good to have you home. Oh, this has been a day of surprises. What, with Aurelie come to stay a spell?
Yeah?
Well, she wouldn't tell us a thing, except she just come to pay us a last visit. So I had to put on some new room.
Oh, Willie, can I fix you something to eat, son? No, thanks, Mom. I'll go up say hello to Orly. Oh, now, careful what you say to her. She starts bawling if you just look at her. Orly? Orly, it's Willie.
Please go away.
Orly, what's wrong?
Just leave me alone, will you?
Sure, I just wanted to ask you about Henry Jenkins. He didn't cause you no trouble that night, did he?
Why did you ever bring him here?
What do you mean? Hey, what'd he do?
Well, he come back to see me a few times. At first, I just felt sorry for him. And then
Rolly. You mean you and Henry?
We didn't mean to. I care for him so that I'm sick inside.
Orly Prentice? You mean to tell me you went and fell in love with a Yankee?
You said he was your friend.
Well, I ain't in love with him. What'll Ma say and the others?
They're not going to find out.
Well, this is no time for you to go falling yourself in love with no Yankee. No matter whose friend he is, this is no time.
I know it's no time. That's why I'm here. So I wouldn't weaken and let him come back and see me.
Leastways, it's no Yankee. Voted for Bear. Orly Prentice, you got no idea what a mess you're in. No idea.
You shouldn't have come.
Stay here. I'll get rid of him. Just pay no attention. He comes to see me.
You think I brung these things for you?
Come to the barn with me, Henry Jenkins. We got things to talk over.
But I...
Henry Jenkins, what do you mean showing up here in them rented store clothes? If you know what's good for you,
I brung these things for Aurelie. I mean to see she gets them.
I gotta ask you straight. Why are you keeping after her this way?
You the man of the family?
I sure am.
You trying to find out if my intentions are honorable? Is that it?
So help me, Henry, I ought to bust you. I try to talk to you.
I know I shouldn't have come. I brought these for you.
You're lovely.
Oh, ain't much, but best they could do in Alexandria.
Thank you, Henry.
Just had to see you once more, no matter what.
I don't like to butt in, but it's getting kind of late.
I just got scared we were getting in over our heads.
Don't say that.
And it's a fur piece back to Fairfax.
Don't you ever go away from me again. Not ever.
I had to, don't you see?
No, I don't see nothing but you.
If you'll excuse me.
Big bad old Yankee.
I wouldn't even have told you.
Maybe it don't matter to you. You got no family. What about all of Orleans' kinfolk? Ma and Uncle Ferd? How they gonna feel when she run off and married a Yankee?
Feel any way they like. I don't care. They had their chance to get married when they wanted to.
Well, one thing, no cousin of mine's gonna run off, start a lot of gossip and eyebrow lifting. If you're gonna go through with it, you and Orly are gonna have a regular family-type wedding.
Ho! What you trying to do? Line me up for a family-type hanging?
We can have the wedding at our place, and I'll be best man. You come down in your rented store clothes like you are now, nobody gotta know you're a Yankee.
Now, wait a minute.
Show up barely in time for the wedding. You and her ride off as soon as it's over. You wouldn't have to talk much to anybody.
As the blackbird in the spring 'neath the willow tree sat and piped, I heard him sing days of Orleans.
Now, you take the oldest, moth-eatenest kind of lion. With no teeth at all. You twist his tail just a turn too far, and he'll likely knock you clean into the hereafter. Now, that's what Mosby done.
He's a soldier, though. So's his men. I don't see how you can rightly do that to a soldier in uniform.
Only it's time they wear their fighting suits when they shooting at you. Most of the time, they're behind somebody's plow.
But hang him.
What? What are you talking about?
New orders come in. Here on any Mosby man we catch, we hang him on the spot, same as any other horse thief.
No trial?
No, nothing, just hang him. And you can't say they ain't been asking for it.
Made of golden hair, sunshine came along with thee, and swallows everywhere.
You know what'll happen when they catch you in them store clothes? They'll blatch you up against somebody's barn and shoot you. Obadiah, you got no business fretting about a Yankee. Reb like you ought to hate us.
I don't hate nobody, Corporal.
Take care of yourself here.
You want something?
I got an important message for Orly Prentice.
Hey, you're Henry Jenkins, ain't you?
Yeah.
I seen you that night when Willie hustled you out here to the barn so quick.
Is Orly at the house?
Come on, I'll take you.
What are all them carriages?
Oh, kinfolks mostly. A few neighbors. Getting set up for the wedding. I see the Yanks didn't get you anyhow.
No.
Well, Orly and Willie told us all about you. But you don't need to worry. Wouldn't none of us ever talk.
I'd kind of like to see Orly alone. You suppose you could sneak in there and ask her to come out?
I'll take you up the back stairs. She's up in Willie's room.
Aunt Sarah? Come on in.
Look who just snuck in from Baltimore. 3 days early.
What do you mean, Baltimore?
Well, Willie and I had to tell them something, so we told them you were a blockade runner from Baltimore. Everybody downstairs is so thrilled. They all think you're a big Confederate hero. It's, bad luck to see your bride in a wedding dress before the ceremony.
That's what I come about, Orly. We got enough bad luck without asking for more.
You mean the wedding? You haven't changed your mind.
We got new orders. Any of Mosby's men we catch, you're gonna hang them right there. Not even a trial. That means Willie, too. Understand? How'd you feel if you was married to one of the men who... Orly, I'm sworn to do my duty. I got to do it. You understand?
I don't know. You've got to tell them something, Henry. We're all downstairs fixing for the wedding. We've got to go tell them it. There's no need of it.
Oh, can't you men do anything right? All you have to do is put it up there and put it up there, and you lose it. It goes into tune. Oh! Don't you understand? You used to have a bar.
Look, everybody, look. Look at what Willie and Sam brought us home last night. Genuine imported champagne.
Is that him?
That's him.
You know this about a crochet last time?
All of you. This is Henry Jenkins.
Welcome to the family. Proud to have you with us.
And, we've got something we want to tell you.
I thought only brides blush. Look at the groom.
We've searched every cupboard in the county for enough sugar to bake that wedding cake, and it's gonna be a ring dinger.
Listen, please, all of you. We have something to say.
Left to say as I do when the parson opens the book. I just want to say first I'm
Sorry you went to so much trouble.
Oh, it was a joy, no trouble, Henry.
Proud to do it.
Now, I want to say that in my whole life, I've never been treated like this. I mean, so many people being so nice.
Isn't that sweet? Isn't he a fine boy?
I hope that whatever happens, you won't be sorry you done it.
Oh, well, now, I think this calls for a drink. Come on there, Ed. You come and help, and all of you drink cold hot. Hold up those glasses.
I couldn't call it off early.
Starkey, where's Jenkins? He's packing to leave. Wait a minute, Starkey!
Here's your change. The wedding shirt cost a dime more on account of the fancy word.
And I guess it don't amount to too much over the course of a lifetime, huh?
I don't like to interrupt. Know how busy you must be.
Figure to leave about noon tomorrow.
Too bad. You ain't going nowhere, Corporal.
My papers are all made out. Captain signed them 3 days ago.
You better go talk to him.
Hold on, Henry!
He can't do it.
He can do anything he wants. Henry!
Corporal Henry Jenkins, sir.
What is it, Corporal?
Sergeant Gregg just told me about
The furloughs, yes.
Yes.
Well, I've canceled all furloughs. I understand you went with Sergeant Gregg a few times, keeping a lookout on that house at Frying Pan Church. That's supposed to be the home of one of Mosby's men.
Yes, sir.
But you haven't been with Sergeant Gregg lately.
No, sir,
That's too bad, Corporal, because there's been some strange goings-on. Awful lot of people coming and going. From what Sergeant Gregg can find out, there's going to be a wedding there tomorrow afternoon. Now, can you guess who's going to be at that wedding, Corporal? Every man Jack of Company F is going to be at that wedding, Corporal, as uninvited guests. Now, it looks like it's going to be a big event from all the fuss they're going to. There's probably going to be every important rebel of Northern Virginia there. And they think that they can pull it off right underneath our noses like they're horse stealing. All right. We'll see who has the last laugh this time.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
What was it? Huh?
Something I gotta do right now. Dyer, get the black saddled and ready.
I don't like this, Corporal. Next time, you give me some warning.
Won't be no next time. Now, hurry.
Going somewhere, will you, Corporal?
Something I gotta do. I just gotta.
Like, getting a message to Mosby? Tell him what you just learned from the captain.
What are you talking about?
Maybe I'm stupider than most, but I managed to get things figured out. Give me enough time.
Like what?
Like you and Willie Prentice down in the Rappahannock together.
What do you mean, together? I was on one side of the river, he was on the other.
But he didn't stay on the other side. Then when you run into him in the stable at Middleburg, you come out and tell me he's just a harmless stable boy.
You don't understand.
Oh? Maybe I'm just beginning to. Is that how Mosby's been making monkeys out of all of us? You've been getting word through to this Prentice kid about every move we're gonna make?
You calling me a traitor?
You got a better name for it.
find out about this wedding. Willie Prentice's cousin is gonna get married up to some Reb hero. That you, Corporal? You that big Reb hero?
I'm a good soldier, Greg. Just as good as you. I've held to my oath. Ain't nobody ever learned one word from me.
I ought to press charges against you. Like kept in the guardhouse. But I'd rather have you with us when I ride down to that wedding tomorrow. I'd rather see for myself just what kind of Union soldier you are.
Ride up with a gun in my hand? The day of my wedding? I won't do it.
Oh, yes, you will. You will. You and nobody else are gonna get the word down there at a time. Scare the bait out of the trap. You suppose Willie Prentice won't be down there at his cousin's wedding? Some other Mosby men? Maybe even Mosby himself. We ain't never gonna get a better chance than this.
Truth is, Obadiah, we've never had a Yankee informer in Fairfax.
Sergeant Shaw seemed to think so. I decided I'd best let you know, just in case.
Well, at least we'll know to stay away from that wedding. Willie, this man that your cousin is going to marry, he's a blockade runner from Baltimore, isn't that right?
Well, that's kind of a loose way of putting it.
You mean what he really is a Yankee soldier from Fairfax? You knew that and you never told anybody?
You mean to say you were going to let Sam and me walk into something like that?
Well, you see, the thing is, my kinfolks wouldn't have stood for it if they'd know the truth. And he ain't a bad sort for a Yankee.
He the one you told me pulled you across the river? And he's not the man you did in that night in Fairfax. I thought you
It's
told...
all my fault, Captain, sir. So let me ride back and tell Ma everything. Get the wedding called off. I should never let it get started. Then I'll ride back here. Whatever you want to do with me, that's all right with me.
What I decide to do with you, Private Willie Prentice, I'll do. And I don't much care whether it's all right with you or not. Do you understand that? I don't think we're going to call that wedding off. No, sirree, I don't think we're going to mention one word of what we just found out. Willie, you claim to be a trapper. Did you ever stick your foot in your own trap after you had it set?
No, sir.
Let's hope that by tomorrow night, Captain Blazer won't be able to say the same thing. Sam, get the word around. I want every man we've got at the Four Corners north of the Prentices 2 hours before that wedding. I want them mounted, and I want them ready for the biggest fight we've ever had.
Yes, sir.
How long to go? An hour. Lieutenant, take a detail. Scout ahead.
Sergeant?
How you doing, Corporal?
Never better.
Forward!
Coming over the house right now. Be fetching up the Prentice's place in a half an hour, maybe less.
If we move up there, we can hit them from both sides.
Not enough cover. I want them right here. In these woods, they can't tell whether we're 50 or 500.
You figure you can draw them up this way?
If I can give them an interesting enough target.
That boy just ain't the kind to miss his own wedding without a word.
Maybe he and Willie got slowed up somewhere together.
Oh, they'll be here.
Who is Mrs. Prentice?
I am.
Captain Blazer, United States Cavalry. I assume, ma'am, you have some notion of the business we're here for.
No, I do not, Captain.
I have reason to believe that a number of Mosby's men are assembled here. I suggest, ma'am, that you advise them to come out peacefully.
Not a Mosby man anywhere, Captain. See for yourself.
We intend to. What about your son, Willie? Now, I'm not going to force you into a lie, Mrs. Prentice. We know he's one of Mosby's men. Now, we have an open order to burn to the ground the house and the outbuildings of any Southern sympathizer sheltering Mosby or any member of his command. Perhaps you didn't...
I heard you, Captain.
I would like to interrogate the prospective bridegroom.
He's not here.
Where is he?
I don't know.
Very well, ma'am. Sergeant Gregg, you! Search the house.
Yes, sir. All right, Corporal, let's go.
Corporal!
Sorry, miss, you gotta go outside. There's a war on.
inside, sir. Taking off.
Sergeant Gregg, you! Detail 2 men to fire the house. Yes, sir. Alberts. Jenkins, Starkey.
Let's go.
There's nothing you can do about it. Just tell yourself it's the war. Say it over and over. Henry, you want me to do it?
Company's coming. Best get ready.
Captain Sam.
He's badly hurt, sir. I don't think he's ever going to make it to Culpeper.
All right, we'll have to leave him behind.
All right, men, let's move. I could take him in, sir. See that he gets took care of and catch up with you later.
Do you mind, Private Prentice, if I give the orders?
No, sir. Except he needs help real bad.
Mr. Mosby, he showed up when he did. He'd have lost this house for sure. Where's the boy coming?
Miss Prentice, we have a soldier needs help.
Henry!
Pretty bad hurt.
Ollie! Come away from there! Come back here! Come away from there!
We don't want that Yankee
He's
hot
a
burn us
Yank.
out here. Now,
Get
go on,
him out of
Yankee.
here.
We're not
We
supposed
don't
to help
want
any
him
Yankee
here.
soldiers.
All right, all of you, quiet down. Right now, it doesn't matter what kind of a uniform he's got on. He's just a young soldier and he needs help.
I said, lay him down. You're something that always will be. He's got no right around here, Orly, that's all. Get him out of here. Somebody get him out. He caused all this. Hush up. Hush up, I said, hush up. Hush up, every last one of you. Now, this boy is bad hurt.
Homer, I want you to go find Doc Burnett. Now, I don't care where he is, but I want you to find him, and I want you to bring him back here. Now, do you understand that?
I'll get him.
You're going to be all right, Henry. Everything's going to be all right.
He can't be all right, Orly. Don't you understand?
Why don't you leave him out there?
Could have been me being brought back instead of him. It could have been me. He pulled back. He didn't want to shoot when he saw it was me. That's when he got it. Except for that.
I'm leaving the prisoner in your custody, miss. I understand you've had some experience in that sort of thing.
I won't let him escape from me again, sir. I promise you that.
Get yourself well, Henry Jenkins. This war ain't gonna last forever. Still gonna be best man at your wedding.
Willie?
In case it slipped your mind at the moment, Mosby and Willie and the rest of their gallant band did not actually win the war. But peace finally came, and people lived in harmony once again. And I guess that's what is important. Perhaps somewhat less important, but still worth noting, is our next program. And we'll be back in a minute to tell you about it.
So listen careful, because I'm not used to guns and I'm real nervous. Understand?
What's that kid doing with your gun?
That's just part of the mystery on our next program, when we join that kid with the gun, Gallagher, the city reporter gone west to cover the frontier beat, who this time lands in the midst of a baffling mystery.
Judge.
No man as honest and fearless as Judge McManus is without enemies, Erm.
Well, if you're harking back to that argument that he had with Joe Carlson, you might as well forget it. He is not that kind of man.
Any man's capable of murder if he's pushed far enough.
The big mystery, however, is who wants to have Gallagher sent to Boot Hill.
Well, now, looks like I'm right on time.
And will Gallagher ever get the feel of the frontier?
Oh, what a greenhorn.
The Brimstone Paperboy doesn't have all the answers, but he's right in there getting the news that, for anyone else, is too hot to handle.
Hey, you see, Moran? I mean business.
It's too late, Gallagher. They're here.
Be here next time for some exciting shots of the wild and wobbly West in The New Adventures of Gallagher Goes West on Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color. Walt Disney's Wonderful World of Color has been brought to you by RCA, world leader in color television. Makers of stereo and tape recorders for the home and computers for industry. RCA, eyes and ears for America's space program. Come into the space age with RCA, the most trusted name in electronics.